and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's goody, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back at again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. This is gonna be another video where I share what I think is gonna be an unpopular opinion for a number of reasons, but the main reason I feel the way I do on this topic is for a reason I think that most Panthers fans, especially the ones who've been coming to my videos for the last week and a half, it doesn't matter what the topic is in the video, ask me about this guy, ask me the same question every single day. Should the Panthers try to pursue Tre Boston? Tre Boston is a name that most Carolina Panthers fans should know, should be very familiar with. His first year in the league, I mean, he had decent numbers. He had one pick, it was a pick 6, 3 passes defended. He was a starter and then lost his job. The next year he played in all 16 games, only started 1, didn't really have that many stats. Then his third year in the league in 2016, he was a starter and then lost his job again. So the question you're probably asking yourself is, why did Tre Boston lose his starting job twice in the span of 3 years when he was first with the Panthers? The answer is very simple. The man couldn't tackle. Tre Boston just could not tackle. No. The thing is, I'm not sure if Tre Boston could or could not tackle. The thing is, he didn't try to. The thing was, Tre Boston did not try to have any kind of textbook, technique kind of tackles. The man was always going for a hit stick. It didn't matter what the play was, didn't matter what the situation was, he always went for a big hit, and if it was his job to make a play, you could count on one of two things. Either A, he was going to hit the man really hard, or B, more often than not, you're going to see his dreads flying right past the man because he was going for a big hit and guys would just either sidestep or he'd take a bad angle and he just missed poorly. And there was sometimes in coverage he kind of spaced out. Sometimes it seemed like he was freelancing out there, not really playing what his position should be doing at some points. And it was kind of strange because I think all Panthers fans knew that Tre Boston was talented. But there are just times, too many times in the field where you see him just make a mistake, mental mistakes. These weren't like, him not being good enough, him not being strong enough. He just made some really poor choices at the wrong times. But either way, in the last couple of years, it seems like Tre Boston has learned a lot. He's gotten better. He's progressed as a player. At least statistically, 2 years ago when he played for the Chargers, he had 5 interceptions, 8 passes defended, 79 combined tackles. That was a great year, and he played free safety. And then just last year when he played for the Cardinals, he had 3 interceptions, 9 passes defended, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 79 total tackles, and 3 hits on the quarterback. So he wasn't just staying deep. He also blitzed sometimes, and he got pressure on the quarterback sometimes. And keep it real with you, those numbers for the Cardinals were actually more impressive than they look because the Cardinals played a dime defense last year. They had 5 starting defensive backs, and the names they had back there were kind of impressive. There was obviously Tre Boston, Antoine Bethea, there was Patrick Peterson, Budda Baker, who was a really good second-year safety, I believe he is. I think he's another strong safety. And then Bené Benwikri, which is the name that most Panthers fans should also be familiar with. He got cut in the middle of the season, which is a situation for him that most Panthers fans should also be familiar with. But Tre Boston had what I believe to be the best stats on that team last year. And for them having 5 defensive backs with Antoine Bethea and Patrick Peterson, that's hard competition. That's really big competition. You're on the same team, but still, you're trying to get your numbers. So for me, that was very impressive. And right about now, I know you're thinking to yourself, wait, so you're telling me he started off kind of raw, kind of had some mental blunders sometimes, got his numbers a little bit, but wasn't really all the way there in his first stint with Carolina. Then he went away for a couple years. His first year he left, he had a good year. His second year away, he had great stats and outplayed Patrick Peterson and Antoine Bethea. So why exactly are you telling me that he shouldn't be a part of the Panthers for this upcoming season? The answer is very simple. So simple that I'm kind of surprised that no one's even thought about it. The only thing I keep hearing from people who talk about wanting Tre Boston back is, Shellitronnn, he's so cheap and he's so good. Like, why are we not going to get him? Why don't you want Tre Boston back? He's playing for the cheap, and he has these numbers. Why wouldn't we want a guy like him? It makes no sense to not pick him up right now, right? It's kind of a no-brainer, right? Think about it like this. In 2017, he had a 1-year prove-it deal with the Chargers, and he was paid $900,000 for a stat line, like I already showed, of 8 passes defended, 5 interceptions, 79 combined tackles. You would think that with those stats, the very next year, just this past year, he would have gotten a deal and say, okay, this guy's proven it already. He can get his money. He's shown he can make plays and he's improved in this game. He deserves his money. Nope. The Chargers didn't pick him back up, and he ended up going to the Cardinals, who are known for not paying literally anyone. The Cardinals do not pay anyone on their roster for the most part, and he ended up getting paid $1.5 million last year for a stat line of 3 interceptions, 9 passes defended, a fumble forced and recovered, and 79 combined tackles. Okay, so what you're telling me is a guy like Tre Boston with 2 straight years of proving it on 2 straight 1-year prove-it deals is going to take another really cheap contract in a 3rd year straight? I'm not going to lie to you. If Tre Boston takes another 1-year deal or another deal that does not get him a lot of guaranteed money, the man is just, I'm going to call it what it is. The man is stupid. Either he's stupid or he has one of the worst agents in the league right now. And that's what it all boils down to for me. I would love to have Tre Boston back on the Panthers. Like, what these stats he's shown, if his tackling's improved and he's not like a bad influence, like a bad kind of like vibe kind of guy in the locker room, which there hasn't been any kind of reports of, and obviously I don't know anything about his tackling because there's not a person alive who's going to watch more than 4 Cardinals games. For you guys who've been telling me that Tre Boston's improved, if you're not just looking at his stats only, if you're looking at the way he plays his game, if you're talking about his tackling ability, let me know, but you'll have a hard time convincing me that you watched more than 3 full Cardinals games last year. Let's be honest. Did you watch more than 3 full Cardinals games last year? You tell me you watched more Cardinals games than the Cardinals won last year? I mean, if you're scouting him like that, that's kudos to you. You're probably more dedicated to the Cardinals than actual Cardinals fans. When you discuss a guy improving, you know, stats can have a big role in like looking at, okay, yeah, he had better stats this year than in previous years, so that means he improved. But at the same time, I don't really think that stats were his biggest problem in Carolina. It was his ability to tackle, it was his decision making, and I want to know how that's changed. It makes no sense at all for this man to even consider a deal that's 1 year or a deal that does not give him a lot of guaranteed money after 2 straight years like that. It'll be great for the Panthers to get him for that kind of money if he does sign a deal for like, let's say like 2-3 years and like $6 million, $7 million guaranteed with like maybe a chance to go up to like 12 or 13 with incentives. But in my opinion, Tre Boston will be selling himself short. Way, way, way short to accept that kind of deal. Like, so it's not that I don't want Tre Boston on the team. He looks improved. He looks a lot better, and we do need a guy in his position, given the kind of numbers he's been getting and the kind of production he's been getting. That would be great for the team, but my whole thought process is this man just played for $900,000 1 year, $1.5 million the next year, and put up numbers that should be getting him near the top of the line, you know, upper middle level safety numbers. You see what these guys have been getting paid this year. It would make literally no sense for this man to take a team-friendly deal at this point in his career. You want to make money. The point of, you know, playing the NFL, playing a professional sport, you want to win championships and all that kind of stuff. You want to, you know, make friends and have fun and all that kind of stuff. But the real thing is, these guys would not be playing football if they weren't getting paid. And you have to support yourself, support your family, and all that kind of stuff. The man deserves his money. This man, Tre Boston, if you really believe that he's improved, if you really believe that he's a good player, a great free safety, then you believe he deserves his money. And as a fan of a team, you would love to have cheap talent. I would love to have AB, give me Khalil Mack, give me Earl Thomas, give me all these great talented players on what, 3-year, $9 million guaranteed contracts. I would love to have all these great players for very, very cheap. And I'm not saying that Tre Boston is a Khalil Mack type of guy or, you know, that kind of thing. But at some point, you have to hope that these guys in the NFL, in a hard cap league, where the money is never actually secure, the bag is never really secured in the NFL compared to like the NBA, the MLB, NHL, any of these other professional leagues where the money is actually guaranteed and they can't like restructure you or, you know, cut you 2 years into your deal and that kind of stuff. I want this man to make his money, and if he wants to make his money, it probably won't happen here. Now, I was playing around on overthecap.com and seeing what the team could do with some cap moves. Right now, the team has about $4.8 million in cap space. You need about $7 to $10 million to sign your rookies once you draft them and whatnot. If the team were to cut Denoris Cersei and cut Ross Cockrell, we would have about $9.1 million for this season. I'm not sure what their health is looking like. I'm not really sure what their role is going to be coming up this season. But honestly, I'd be more willing to cut Ross Cockrell than Denoris Cersei. I think we're going to be able to get a little bit more help at corner in the draft than strong safety. And if Eric Reed goes down, I do not want to have Colin Jones be our next man up. So really with just cutting Ross Cockrell, the team would have about $7.2 million. And that could be enough if we made a couple other moves. But honestly, I don't see the team making that many more moves in free agency. And keep it a whole hundred, it wouldn't be a smart move for Tre Boston himself. Over the past 2 years, the man's earned the right to make his money, to make the kind of money that he deserves to make. And right now, the way our bank account's set up, we aren't really in the position to do that. And football is a dangerous game where you risk your body and your future health in a number of different ways with the consolation prize being either money or greatness, and sometimes it's both. And greatness is great, but you can't buy a house or food with greatness, and like the Migos said, I'd rather be rich than famous. So that's where I stand on it. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen, and I'm not saying that it's impossible, because we've seen Marty Herney work his magic numerous times over the past couple years, especially this offseason, especially in the last week or so, the last 8 days, we've seen him make some really great moves. But the situation that we're in right now with our cap space, and the situation that Tre Boston's in right now with the way he's performed over the past 2 years, our numbers probably won't really meet up. And if they do, I would still maintain this same energy in the video where I do reacting to that. I would have to ask, why was Tre Boston on the market that long? Why didn't no other team want to pick him up? And why was the Panthers offer the best offer that he was given? Given the way he's been playing over the past 2 years, it would really make me question, if we were to be the ones that signed him, how was our offer with the way our money's set up? How is that the best offer that he was given? What do we not know? But if it's just a situation where he just wants to play for the Panthers no matter what the price is, then I can understand that. I can dig that. That's cool. We just all be able to confirm that, you know, making money is not his biggest priority in the league. And that's fine. That is 100% fine. Play for the reason you want to play for. Play for the teams you want to play for. But in this league where anything can happen at the snap of a finger, with the way the money's set up, with the way the cap's set up, and with how dangerous it is, you got to make your money when you can. But I don't know what your thoughts are. Do you want Tre Boston? Do you think Tre Boston will come to the Panthers for a very, very cheap deal? And why? Do you think he deserves his money? Do you think it's a smart move on his part? Let me know where your head's at. Let me know in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend, real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.